So I'm sure everyone in this room is familiar with Sudoku. You have a 9x9 grid of numbers that's partially filled in, and your goal is to finish filling it in such that in any row, any column, or any of those 3x3 subblocks, the numbers 1 through 9 show up exactly once. Now for most people, when you finish up with your Sudoku, you fold up your newspaper and you move on with your day. But for me, this is where my day begins. See, I study Latin squares, and Sudokus are a very special type of 9x9 Latin square. Now, Latin squares are very, very structured objects that have a lot of beautiful properties. And one of the properties that I study are called transversals. Now, transversal is a selection of some of the entries such that you circled one in every row, one in every column, and one from each of the numbers in your square. So the circled example at the bottom here is an example of a transversal. Transversals are very, very nice objects, and I search for Latin squares that have a lot of them. If I can find a Latin square that has a lot of transversals, I can start gluing them together in really interesting ways to form mutually orthogonal Latin squares, or moles for short. Now these moles are used all over the place, whether we're talking about quantum information theory, tournament design, statistical analysis, or my personal favorite, coding theory. Now, let's take an example here. Let's say that I want to send you a message. Well, that's actually pretty easy nowadays. So let's up the stakes a little bit. Let's say that I'm on New Horizons, zipping past Pluto, and I want to send a message back to Earth. This is actually very difficult. As the message travels through space, there's a lot of noise, so a lot of bits are flipping from 0 to 1 and from 1 to 0, which obviously messes up our message. So what we can do is use our moles that we created before on New Horizons to encode our message and send that encoded message back to Earth. On Earth, we can look at this encoded message, and first of all, we can tell if any of these errors occurred during transmission, and even more magically, we can fix all of those errors. So as the world gets more and more technologically advanced, the need for these encoding schemes grows and grows and grows. And that's what I work on in my PhD, are the back-end tools needed for these encoding schemes. So the next time that you're on the train, you finished up with your Sudoku, your phone's dead because, let's face it, you've been catching too many Pokemon. See how many transversals you can find. I bet you there's at least 68. Thank you.